Well, we started our day good today and finished our day pretty good. I wanted to do this video after I watched Never Lose Felix race. And all of you guys on Black Friday missed out on him. He looks like he's going to be okay after all. Charging hard. I don't know what his last quarter was, but charging hard down the lane. And looks like he has lots to offer. So, you know, there's lots of times when we keep horses over and we'll have lots of clients. I'm not going to name any names. We have lots of clients like, why don't we just get rid of this horse? Why don't we get rid of this? Why would you keep the horses over if you don't know? Well, or the one I love, and you know who you are, why do you think this horse has enough speed? Just speed to be a good horse. You can't extrapolate that from a young horse, right? You just can't all the time. And we've seen it time and time again. And yes, for every Never Lose Felix, and it looks like he's going to be a decent horse from what I saw tonight anyway. I only have the same race to go on that you guys do. But for every Never Lose Felix, you're going to have 4 or 5 that just aren't good enough, right? And I'm ready too, or something like that. And I don't mean poke fun at that horse. I said the other day, I feel bad. He's just not good enough. Not a fast horse. But if you were going to ask me now, be fair, if we were going to rewind everything back to last April, May, who looked like they had speed, who had a nice gait, decent breeding, I bet if I lined any 10 clients up and said, okay, what do you think of this horse? What do you think of that horse? What do you think of that horse? And then we came to Never Lose Felix, not many of you would say, he's got something. I told you guys he had a little bit of speed, but he wasn't the soundest. His knees hurt him. His stifles were weak. He needed to mature. I still had no idea what that maturity would look like. It's not like he just went out and won a division of a sire stake or a grand circuit race. He was 4th in a maiden closing in. He looked tonight like there's a lot more under the hood. That's the look that I got. Now, I haven't spoke to James yet. The race was just over. But I would suspect the way he finished up, the way he handled in the mile, the way he behaved, that James is going to like this horse very, very much. And bringing him back now is important because we know that now. This horse looks like he could be any kind of horse. And he has an entire plate of stakes at him. Now we can pick and choose over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. We can make a well-informed choice of what we'd like to do staking-wise with Never Lose Felix. So I'm super happy with the way he raced. Happy that we have him ready right now. And intrigued to see if we can manage him the same way we managed a Time Is On My Side last year. I keep using his name because this is the only horse I ever did this with. The only horse we ever had ready now. Raced, rested, raced, rested, raced, rested. And the same jurisdiction as Never Lose Felix. So we know we can. This is the greatest house ever. I gave you guys... there's nobody around. I'll show you the contrast. This is how I would like my house to look at Christmas. It's my neighbor right across the street. My house has just got 2 deers that you plant in the garden. You might be able to see it as I pull in. I'll let you look. Now this is what Amy and I were. That guy's the greatest. Quite a contrast. Anyway, very pleased with Never Lose Felix. Very happy with what I saw, and intrigued with the future for this colt. It's hard to make too much out of nothing, but what I saw was a horse that behaved himself perfectly, understood his work, and the very second that James called on him, he trotted as hard as he could from that point in the turn until they went under the wire. And then if you watch what they call the run out, that's where the horses go past the wire into the turn and the camera follows them. Never Lose Felix. Gone. Very, very impressed. Now we started our day with International Man. I've had no less than 2 emails, a number of texts, and a bunch of people saying, how did Steve put it? The ugliest trotter I own. Something to that effect. I'll tell you what. I'm more and more convinced that this is a mechanics thing than anything, because he's not lame and he feels fine. When you're sitting behind him, he feels fine. When you watch him in the video, you're like, oh, but he doesn't He doesn't feel that way when you're sitting behind him. So I'm more and more convinced every time I sit behind him that it's just mechanics. And I think he'll get better and better and better and better. My only hope is that along the way he gets faster and faster. Because if he doesn't, eventually those 3 wins are going to turn into 4, going to turn into 6. And now what are we going to do with him? He could either be a claimer or a condition claimer, and then hopefully a condition horse. He's got the pedigree, he's got the back class, he's got speed as a 2 and 3-year-old. Now we're just going to teach him how to do it smarter. Yeah. So International Man, although he was ugly and got beat where he probably should have won, he was safe. He did his work well. And I think he's going to improve. That's my take on International Man. Tenacious Hanover, just a little short. Plus, I don't know, 54, if I got away second or third and he followed, I think he's there. But off a week, and then 2 weeks before that. So he's only raced twice in a month. All my partners know that. I can assure you of that. Need to get him in consistently and put him in a place to do some damage. Today's trip, he doesn't like the third quarter being second over. If they're coming back to him, yes, but if I have to accelerate to catch cover, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that at all. A little bit of a tricky bugger to drive, just in the sense that you got to get inside his head when you're driving him. He's a little bit short, not his trip today. Hopefully we get right back in with this guy and stay on a regular basis. That would be important. Rock Shining Star, he had to leave hard. Kind of finished up out okay, an okay third. Could he have been better? Maybe. I'm watching him. And the reason I'm watching him is because if Jason and I decide that he is a little tired, we'll give him a short rest. I don't know yet. He did have to leave hard into the 7-hole to get to where he was. So it would be unfair to him to say that didn't play a role. Of course it did. And then Save America, I didn't see any interference. I saw him get close. I saw Dan's horse get rough. Now, if Dan went to the phone and said, yes, he hit me, okay. I can only imagine that would be the only supporting evidence that would get you set back in that particular instance today. I saw the back tower. I saw the front tower, same as you did. I saw him get close. I saw Dan get out of gear. I didn't see any contact. Now, I didn't watch it 15 times like the judges. I only saw a few views like you did. So to be fair, I didn't get a full scope of it that they did. And I'm not calling into question what took place. He very well may have touched him up. I know that the judge in Dayton is an extremely meticulous judge. He doesn't miss much and lets nothing slide at all. There's no gray area for him on the track, where most of the judges you race under there is. I'm not going to say he does his job poorly, because that is his job. And if he did in fact hit him, then I guess he's supposed to be placed. I just didn't see it from where I was. The horse race great again. Just continues to be a competitor, a true competitor in the Open. Now, as exciting as it was to watch Never Lose Felix race, and as happy as I was to sit behind International Money, and the other races were good today. Super excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have 6 sets for you. You know what, this might be helpful. We have some scratches, horses that had some OCDs removed, horses that were castrated. Now, we had 2 or 3 castrations. Seem good. I'm saying they're a go tonight. It'll be a game time decision tomorrow. If we get to the barn and that area is swollen, then I don't think it's fair to ask them to go tomorrow. But if they look comfortable, then they will. As of right now, Sterling Hanover just not ready to train yet, so he's not going. Happy with what I saw from him so far, but not ready to train yet. Steph's Hope just came back from an OCD surgery. She's off. You'll see these horses. I'm really going to try to put together a set on Open House Day where you can just watch your horses, right? Jogging, it's okay for them to jog, I believe, on the 29th. Ooh, it's going to be a little tight for the ones that came back a couple of days ago, actually. I'll talk to Dr. Brown about this. There's no need to rush it, but if the horses are meant to jog that day anyway, then why not show you guys the horses? No complications from anybody that we had any work done on. OCDs. We did have to put a screw in assist for the Walner filly. What's her name? Love Sensation. But again, Run-of-the-mill, Dr. Brown was extremely happy with that. There was no concerns at all. So Sterling Hanover's you're not going to see him tomorrow. Steph's Hope is stall rest. Megan's Lucky Day had an OCD out. She's stall rest. Tavion Hanover was a little sick today. He's got the day off. Sweet Lake had an OCD out. Also, these are all run-of-the-mill, ordinary OCDs. There was no complications. They weren't in tricky spots. There was no irritation. There was nothing. All of them were paint-by-numbers procedures. Leland Hanover hit the pace. He's working at it now. He's getting there, but he's not ready to go yet. Love Sensation, I told you about the cysts. Woodmere Bullet is in another country, in another province from what we're used to. He's in PEI training. Neuromancer. I'll finish with the last one. Captain Doolittle had an OCD out of a hind ankle. He's not going tomorrow. Neuromancer. I almost put him on the list today. He's got could be foot separations, could be pus pockets. They look like quarter cracks. Where they came from, why they're there, it's very rare to see a baby with a quarter crack, let alone one on each hind foot. Super rare. I don't know when I would see it last. Is that indicative of something we're going to have to manage his entire life? Maybe he's prone to quarter cracks. I haven't had any Centurion ATMs. I can tell you his brother did not. I don't remember Maury ever having a quarter crack. So I can't say that it is. You see them on the front feet, not the hind ones usually, the young horse. We changed the shoeing. Moderate amount of blood on one of them today, and the other one has stopped bleeding. Now, I wanted him to go tomorrow because you guys haven't seen what I've seen yet on this guy. Amy said, well, does he really need to go tomorrow? So Amy is the guidance counselor, and I'm the gym teacher. My take on it would be, how do we expect him to be tough if we don't put him in positions to be tough? Having said that, it's December the 19th. Does he really need to jog on a quarter crack? No, I guess not. You guys are probably going to see this guy on the 29th. I was really torn. I thought about it the whole way home. And I do believe horses have to work through some situations that are uncomfortable, some adversity. I just don't know if December 19th with a quarter crack that bleeds in his left or right hind foot constitutes something he has to work through. So I think in that regard, the guidance counselor is going to win, and Neuromancer will have the day off. So those are the horses that have the day off tomorrow, counting Woodmere Bullet in PEI. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. We have 6 sets going out tomorrow. Very happy with what I've seen. Now the 6th set is mostly horses that are coming back. I see 4 castration horses in the 6th set. Riding the Rodeo still got mucus on her. We're going to start getting really aggressive with her airway. I believe there's got to be something with her gluteal pouches too. I'll talk to Dr. Latessa about her later on this week. And then Emerald Tom. He's the only one that has no issue who's in this set. So I guess if you were the odds makers, Tyler would be the prohibited favorite in set number 6. First set, I'm going to go Don't Ask Again. Just going through a quick look over any issues in here. Cherry's Girl does have a curb left hind. We've been working on that. We'll probably blister that and then cryo it right before Dr. Latessa shuts down for the holidays. You know what? That means the 29th could be in jeopardy. We really have to give her some time. You know what? We'll see how she goes tomorrow. We may actually cryo this on the 29th or the 30th and give her a week after that. Curbs are not like other issues. You really have to give them a little time to set, right? I've seen enough of them. You can't push forward until they're ready. So Cherry's Girl, I think we'll go with it tomorrow. If she looks good tomorrow, we will wait to cryo that curb until New Year's Eve, probably, or the day before. Set 2, I'm going to go with Aunt Sarah. I was happy with the way she looked the other day. Blue Rare looks very, very good. My name is Sweeney. Is in there. Third set, I was torn. I've been going with Highest Honors all week. A little bit of an attitude problem. He found himself in the principal's office this week. Now, he was just castrated, so it's not the end of the world. But he is pretty fast horse, strong, little stubborn. And he's going to find that I'm much more stubborn than he is. So I don't know if he's figured it out yet, but he's on his way to figuring it out. I'm going to go with I'm in New York in there. Hanger 1's got the hobbles on. Been happy with what I've seen from him. Bobby's look great. Everybody looks good in there. I mean, Tomboy Strong. It's early, but she is undefeated. I'm sure of that. The fourth set, one of the more interesting ones. I can't wait to watch Amy go with Perfection Hanover. I didn't want to go with Perfection Hanover because I didn't want, I don't need to, first and foremost. And I want to see what he's like with Amy going with him. Amy is not me. I want to have them in gear and have them up on their toes, where she is more laid back and go easy with them. I want to see how he is in that setting. So I'm very interested. I'm going to go with Solidarity tomorrow. And this guy's very, very fast also. I went with him this week and I was very happy with him. Now, I'm going to have some people say, why does poor Steady Volo have to be in with them? Jason likes his horse. He gets along with him well. And as far as speed-wise, I don't want any of these horses beating 250, 252 tomorrow. So I'm going to tell everybody carry watch, and you're not to be over the first half faster than 130 with any of them. You get over the half in 30. It's pretty hard to screw that up. So that's what we're going to do with everybody tomorrow, and Steady Volo can trot with any of these horses that can pace in here right now. And then in the fifth set, Eliza Hanover, I've been working with her. I like what I see in this filly this week. Capistrano Knights has looked good. Royal Duchess, I was torn whether I should go with her. I trained her in 252 by herself. I thought she did her work well. She's learning to use the hobbles. She's smart. I like that about her. But I want to go with Eliza Hanover. Degas and Jailbird Jog both been dogging it a little bit from time to time. Joe went with Jailbird Jog today. She looked fine. Amy should be fine with her. Degas a little lazier, but I trained her up a little bit on Wednesday, so she might be on her toes a little sharper tomorrow. And then again, we got the sixth set full of castrations and then riding the rodeo with the mucus in her nose. I'll tell you what's interesting. We did have an issue with that colt last year. I forget his name, the one that was always sick. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill. Always sick, always sick, always sick. We were always, and it was his blood. It wasn't just how he had some mucus. It was in his blood work. He was always not proper. And we gave him all the time, brought him back. When his blood work was fine, this is out in the field. When his blood work was fine, we brought him back in, sent him to Ontario. There's been no issues of sickness since he went to Ontario. So that means nothing. But it's a small amount of food for thought for me once we get this filly back on track and get her congestion cleaned up. I'd be interested to see. Maybe you will see her move over to Ontario, because every day I see her, she has lots of mucus in her nose, and I want to get that dried up. So super excited about tomorrow. Really, really, really happy with the, not really, really, really happy with the way today went. International Man should have won, but raced good. Tenacious Hanover was just short. I can tell you, I know this horse. He was just short today. Rock Shining Star raced adequately. Save America got tossed, which from my vantage point seemed a little unfair, but I'm a little biased, obviously, and we all are. And then Never Lose Felix raced awesome. Now tomorrow, time is on my side. Eager to get to this guy tomorrow. Ready for landing. I'm very curious to watch him race. I'm going to send Kane, right? I'm going to send Kane a note tonight about this horse. He's not as particular as I lead him to believe now. He is growing up. So I don't want to fill Kane's head with a bunch of garbage. You got to watch this and you got to watch that. Just bring him in slow to the gate. Don't try to drag him off the gate. Just race him. And I think you'll be just fine. And I think that's the note for Kane for tomorrow. Patrick the Piranha from the rail, 5-2, so he should be in a good spot. Yo Mister was off last week for sickness. He's back. Spitfire Overseas was brought to my attention. The Spitfire Overseas and Yo Mister fit the same class. And I messaged Stacy. I said, hey, I know it wasn't your doing, but I didn't send him down there to fit the same class as Spitfire. I'm not going to do the same thing in Ontario. From now on, if they fit the same class and are one of them in Dayton, send the other one up to the Meadows for now. Neither one of those horses can race at Northfield Park, but either one of them can race at Dayton or the Meadows. Drebin, who's been on fire for us over the last 4 or 5 weeks, he is in another great spot tomorrow, picked to win tomorrow. And then Tech Song Soprano coming off a big win. He's 9-5 tomorrow at Yonkers. So, poised for a decent run. We get Admiral Dio on Saturday. He's got the 8-hole off 3 weeks. I would not pop any popcorn. He might be a little short on Saturday. Brace for Landing. James took him. I did not think he'd take this horse. 6-1. He took him on Monday, and then we have Woodmere Betcha on Boxing Day. Lots of racing coming up. If at all, if I can stay for a few days in Ontario, I will. So I'm going to be watching the draws very closely for Thursday, Friday, Saturday here in Ohio, in Northern Ohio and in Southern Ohio and at the Meadows. And if I can just have a few days with my family, obviously with my family all the time, but with my brothers and the rest of my family at Christmas, then I will. So we'll see how things shake out over the next week. But Christmas is almost here. This is why it was almost like yesterday. It was Halloween, my favorite time of year, and it's almost coming to an end. We're 6 days out from Christmas and 10 days out from the open house. A big portion of my year, fun-wise, and hopefully a big portion of yours, is almost coming to an end. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys had a great day, regardless, horse racing or otherwise. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and I will talk to you all very soon. Take care.